Hello there. Welcome once more to Contro's Kitchen. And if this is your first time stopping by, I would like to say a very warm welcome to you. Today I'm sharing with you a very simple yet classic and delicious Ghanaian recipe, Fante Fante. Ntitii in the part of Ghana that I come from, you can also call it Fisherman stew. It is just fresh, simple ingredients, fresh seafood, whatever you want, fish, squid, shrimp. In my case, I'm going to be using some red snapper, cleaned and cut up. I also have here some shrimp. These are jumbo shrimps. I have one lobster tail cut up just to stretch it. You know, lobster is not cheap. I have some peppers. These are just going to be garnish and for extra heat if you want it. Some tomatoes and half of a red bell pepper. That's all I have in my fridge. If you do have one whole bell pepper, you could just omit one tomato or take out one tomato and add that in here. Maggi shrimp tablet. I also have some shallots, garlic, ginger, and peppers that I'm going to blend, as well as one onion, red onion, that I'm going to chop onto my fish and everything. This is going to be a definite hit, and I sincerely hope you give it a try. Come along with me and let's do some cooking. So this is the onion that I'm going to just cut up into pieces. I'm just dicing it, and it's going to just go on my fish and other ingredients straight into my sauce. I'm just going to collect that onto a plate and save it for later. Now I'm chopping up my shallots. These are going to be blended. I'm also going to cut up my ginger. Bell pepper, just quarter my tomatoes for easy blending. I'm going to place my garlic in my blender as well as my peppers. I'm going to add all my chopped ingredients in here. Just pure, wholesome, fresh ingredients. I'm also going to add my seasoning cube in here. You could just put it on top of your fish, but since we are cooking everything, your seafood, but since we are cooking everything all together, you can just go here, blend it and pour it over your fish. I'm just going to blend this now. I'm practically going to sandwich my seafood in my blended ingredients, so I'm going to pour about half of it in here, maybe a little more than half, so your seafood submerges into it. I'm going to place my fish in here. You just want to strategically place your fish just like this. I'm going to add my shrimp onto that. My lobster halves also. For my seasoning, I'm going to be using some Old Bay seasoning, just a little bit of it for that flavor, a lighter flavor of it. So just a little under a teaspoon. I'm also going to add about half a teaspoon of black pepper. Some salt. Remember, you have some Old Bay which has salt and your seasoning cube in here as well, so probably not too much salt. I think that is enough, about half a teaspoon. And then I'll add the rest of my blended ingredients, just like I said, to sandwich your seafood. And I added no water when I blended my ingredients. Now I'm just going to make sure that everything is really submerged just by trying to tack it pretty much good, I should say. And then I'm going to sprinkle my onions on it. All of that onion. Let it rain. Just spread it. Give it a little bit of a nudge. Now cover this. So now we're going to cook this on very low heat. Let it simmer down. Let all the flavors work together, do their magic, and trust me, this is going to be a banger. Come along. Let's cook some goodness. You don't want to rush this for any reason. You want it to cook on a very gentle simmer. This way the flavors work together. It's just going to be like a match made in heaven. The seafood is going to give off all its amazing flavors and take from the flavors of all these ingredients that it's sitting in there. Cook all the way down until there's no more liquid in here, a little dried up. I'm just going to replace the lid. And using a kitchen napkin, I'm going to just get this and swirl it just like this. You don't want to stir this because you don't want to break your seafood. All you're going to do is just to give it some gentle swirls just like this. That is how we're going to be stirring. And as you see, it has mixed up. I'm just going to scrape the sides in here. Just tuck it right back in. Then cover again. I forgot to mention I'm using a wide pan just so that your fish is well distributed, very well spread out. It makes it easier for you to have your stew cooked, your Fante Fante cooked beautifully without breaking your seafood in there. This has been cooking for about 15 minutes. I'm going to open the lid slightly. This is how it looks. I'm going to cover and leave a little gap so it vents. This way the moisture is going to evaporate for your fish and your sauce to cook down together. If you leave it covered for too long, it's just going to end up being a little soupy and your seafood is going to take forever sitting in this sauce to cook all the way down, which will let it be overcooked. I'm going to add a few basil leaves. Just about this much in there for a little bit more flavor. So I'm going to wash this first. These came from my garden. I've been a bad plant mom. The heat made me just abandon everything. So it's almost dying, of course, and the change in the weather, but it's still good. Just the last two. Now, isn't this looking amazing? I'm going to try and stir it again. Same way we have been. Just swirl it. You're just trying to make sure that your fish is not sticking to the bottom of your pan. This is getting there. I'm going to add some palm oil. This is store-bought, so I want it to just be in here and absorb the flavors of everything that it's cooking around. So I'm introducing it a little bit early because I don't want to taste the palm oil in the sauce when it is done. I mean, if it's not tasty. If it's good palm oil, then it's okay. This is not too bad anyway, but I just wanted to take up the flavors of the sauce and the fish, everything. Now, can you agree this is going to be good? You pretty much need to be here to smell this. It's amazing how such simple ingredients can make something smell so amazing. Of course, we know it's going to taste good. I'm going to just put my peppers in here now. Let it simmer down for about 10 minutes. And we should be ready to go. I have hot banku ready. All we need is this. I've given it 12 minutes. It still has a little bit of moisture. I'm just going to swirl it again. I'll give it just 5 more minutes. That should be done. I think we are in pretty good shape. Our sauce is good. Thickened enough. Just going to give it one more swirl. And that's pretty much it. Beautiful. Of course, let me taste for salt. Very well seasoned, just the right amount of spice. Look at this. Huge. See? Everything is intact. No broken pieces. This is so good. It's time to enjoy this goodness. Turn off the flame and get that banku going. Oh, it's so tasty.
Delicious. Da, 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 da.
If you prefer some okra with it.
Delicious.
Do you sometimes add okra to the side of your banku and Fante Fante? It is good. I'm not hyping it. You gotta try it. Now let's see how we made out. The fish is very well cooked. Look at that. It's just so tender, but it still didn't fall apart in the sauce because we weren't stirring. Spicy, very well flavored too. It has a lot of stew. I would say it's very stewy. The lobster and the shrimp were no exception. I hope you are able to try it. I know you are going to love it. Kindly give me a thumbs up and share. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy.